Yo, it's season 3. I missed y'all so much. Welcome to season 3 of the Healing Exchange podcast. Man, I miss y'all so much. And thank you so much for tuning in, for sticking with me. I ain't seen y'all it's been about 3 months. A lot has happened. I ain't gonna waste no more time. Y'all know what to do. Everything is gonna be on the screen of what you need to do. I hope you have a happy Monday. I hope you have a good week. I pray that this message will be a great start to your week. Now listen, I've been in prayer. I've been in meditation. I've been in silence these last 3 months, fasting, praying, making sure that I'm okay, evaluating my heart, and God has been downloading so much since these last 3 months, and I've been going through so much within these last 3 months, good and bad, just that transitional season. And that's what I want to get into. Now, y'all know what to do. Like, follow, share. Copy this link to this YouTube and send it to somebody, or copy the link to Apple Music or Spotify and send it to somebody, because this is about to be a transformational message. Now, I realized something as I was praying. Everything that I went through was for you. Everything that I went through was for you. It was for this platform. It was for me to speak the truth. It was for me to help others get free. So that's what this is all about. Welcome to the Healing Exchange. And I want to make an exchange with you. I want to exchange healing with you. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now, y'all, this topic, this message God gave me, y'all, I think I'm fancy now. I got I got me a iPad holder. Now I can really look at my notes and look at y'all without being distracted with other phones and stuff like that. First of all, I want to talk about seasons that change. I want to talk about transitional seasons, seasons that change, whether it's in your environment, whether it's people around you that are changing, whether it's you're going through a storm, or we have different seasons in our life. And even naturally, there are different seasons within the earth. And I want to talk to y'all. I'm going to tell y'all everything that I had been going through during my transitional season, and what God downloaded into me regarding my transitional season. I was going through an emotional roller coaster. And as y'all can see, I'm in a new place. I'm in a new environment. This is my new spot. I remember I told y'all on the last episode of season 2 that I would be moving. So it probably would. That's why it took a little longer for me to come out with season 3. I am in a new place. I am in a new area. I am in a new environment. But that's not the only transition that's been going on in my life. And it's just so much to say that I was like, God, man, where do I start? But I'm going to start right here. We're just going to get started, and we're going to exchange healing. So we are now, if you're new here, this is therapeutic teaching. This is therapeutic healing. This is confession. This is Bible and practical theology and practical. You know, we mix the Bible. We are Jesus on here. I represent Jesus. I talk about Jesus. Jesus is Lord over my life. So Jesus, practical life experience, confession, we do all of that here on my couch. If you heard various of my guests, they're speaking their truths, but Jesus is always somewhere. Jesus will always be reign over my podcast. So I'm going to read something God gave me, Ecclesiastes, and I'm probably, y'all, like I always say, I'm not no Bible. I ain't no theologian. But God gave me Ecclesiastes chapter 3. And I'm going to read it. And with just to give you background, Ecclesiastes, the whole book of Ecclesiastes is Solomon. King Solomon wrote it. Y'all know King Solomon, that story where Delilah played him and he lost everything because of that woman, which was his fault. That's and then after Solomon lost everything and went through wealth and riches and ruled over the land, he wrote poems about life, about death, about vanity and what really matters. In chapter 3 of Ecclesiastes, he wrote something about, regarding seasons. So I want to read it, and I'm going to read it from the NIV. It says, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to uproot. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to tear down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones, and a time to gather them. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to search, and a time to give up. A time to keep, and a time to throw away. A time to tear, and a time to mend. A time to be silent, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time for war, and a time for peace. What do workers gain from their toil? I have seen the burden God has laid on human race. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart. Yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. I know that there is nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live, that each of them may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all their toil. This is the gift of God. I know that everything God does will endure forever. Nothing can be added to it and nothing taken away from it. God does it so that people will fear him." And this is the part that really got me. I'm on verse 15. "Whatever is has already been, and what will be has been before, and God will call the past to account. And I say something else under the sun. In the place of judgment, wickedness was there. In the place of justice, wickedness was there. I said to myself, God will bring judgment, both righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed." So God sent me there. And I'm like, and he gave me the topic of season changes. Now, y'all, let me just catch y'all up on what's been going on with me. First of all, God has been so amazing and so kind thus far within the transition through the ups and downs. He's always shown up and always showed me that he is God. I am here. I've been stripped of all resources because God revealed to me in my heart that I was making my resources an idol. Whether it was people or things that I depended on that I knew that would happen for me, God stripped me from all of it and provided and made a way for me. Y'all, God, I had to move. Well, I didn't have to move, but I decided to move. And my move-in date was within 2 months. And I had to come up with almost like $3,000 or something like that. And I'm doing the math because you know me, I'm a planner. I'm doing the math. I'm like, all right, God, paying rent for these last 2 months and trying to pay $3,000 for this place I'm going to, it ain't adding up. It ain't adding up. Now, you told me it was time to go from the place that I was at and elevate to a bigger space, to an environment. I'm like, okay, I trust you, but look, my bank account says, nah, I don't know how you're going to do that. My resources said, hey, I can't give you the whole thing, but you might got to call them or you might not be able to move. So I'm looking at what it looks like. I was looking at what it looked like and not trusting God. So he stripped me of everything. Money wasn't adding up, and the resources that I usually depend on, here's the crazy part, the resources that I usually depend on, the person that I would usually glean on, or the friends that I would usually glean on and glean to get like anything dealing with finances or extra help, they weren't, for the first time, they weren't able to give it because they were going through their own storm. So I'm like, okay, God, you got me out here. I'm just dead to rights right now. I feel by myself. I don't see no way out. I'm just here and I'm literally trusting you. Y'all, God, within maybe 2 weeks, people from different places, different resources that I didn't expect it from was given to me. And the amount that I received from the other resources and people was way over the amount that I needed. I was able to get that amount, move in to my place. I moved into my new place with furniture, a bed, a couch, a rug, my pots and pans, furniture. I moved in the first day I had all of that stuff already because of how God provided for me. So I'm like, okay, I see you. Okay, God, and this is me and God. This is Him teaching me and testing me and training me to trust Him more. I need you to trust me more. You trust too much in idols. You trust too much in people. You trust too much into yourself and your works. But when are you going to trust me? So I started, my faith was increased. I got everything I needed, moved. It was a good I moved the week of Thanksgiving. Good transition. Had my car, moved my son, my baby. I'm a bunny mom. And getting settled in. And then, y'all, guess what happens? My car breaks down. The car that I paid off, my SUV, broke down. Literally, engine completely went out. So I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, okay, God, I know I'm supposed to be thankful for everything that you that you're doing, but I'm in a new place, but I ain't got no car. How am I supposed to get around? And in the beginning, I was tripping. I had anxiety. I was like, I ain't never been without a car for too long. Like a year ago, because of my impatience and my anxiety, and because I'm so independent, I'm so dependent on myself. I do for myself. I'm hyper independent because I'm in control. Because I've been in trauma and pain where I didn't have control. So paying bills on time, having money, making a way for myself has always gave me a sense of security and safety. I like not needing anyone. Now, if you want to give to me, cool. But I don't like needing other people. That's my current problem. And within this transition, God has showed me, no, you need people. You don't always have it all together. You're not a millionaire. You're not what you try to make yourself to be. And it's humbling. Actually, it's humbling. My pride has been crushed these three months. Just crushed. Humbling. I had to humble myself. It was not that it was forced. It was just I had no other choice but to humble myself and ask for help. And it showed me that, you know what, I got people here that actually do love you, Jack. They love you. So I'm like, all right, God, I'm in anxiety. I ain't got no car now. I'm like, how am I supposed to get around? What am I supposed to do? I got to ask people for rides. What am I going to do about grocery shopping? I'm tripping because I'm very used to getting up, going outside. There's freedom in being able to get up, go outside, and go to your car and go wherever you want to go. Now that's gone. So that's another level of stripping that happened to me. And then, so I'm like, all right, God, what we going to do about a car? So, and I had to sit still like, okay, you know me, I make plans. So I'm like, yeah, thank God I work from home. I don't have to get up and go to work like some people or most people. 2025 was I guess one of my New Year's resolution was to get healthier, get finer for summer, which includes walking and exercises and stuff like that. There's a store at the end of my complex that I can walk to and get quick, convenient stuff. I can order my groceries online. This is what God is telling me. You can order your groceries online. Um, you know, you have people around you that live closer to you that can take you where you really need to go. But I'm like, God, this means I have to depend on people. And I have to be in this vulnerable state of needing them. And God was like, exactly. So I'm mad. I'm in the moment. I'm mad. Like, dang. And then as time went on, God showed me, do you really need the car right now? And I really don't. Because so far, I've been able to get to wherever I need to get my groceries, go wherever I need to go, work. And people during this time, people's heart, the people around me, that I have really seen that people around me that I didn't really lean on, and they are the ones that they really do love me. Like, it's been proven. It's like, you know what? No, these people actually love you, Jack. They actually don't mind helping you, you know? And I just couldn't, I never needed them. So that was revealed. Then we go on, and I'm dealing with another transition with a friendship with friends in my life. It's like the people that were the friend that was my closest, she was going through her own thing as well. And like, it's like now we're both going through, and our friendship shifted. Like, it shifted to where I'm like, what's going on here? And you know how, and I'm gonna be totally transparent, you know how some people, you're used to them being there, like, to where you can't see what your life will be like without them. And it may be a dependency thing, or it may be because I was afraid when that friendship started changing and shifting. I'm like, oh my God, I can't see what my life will be like without this friend, because this person has always been there and now they're not. And I believe that was another stripping that God did for me, because I was, one is dependency. That's the first thing. And I had to adapt. And I believe God wants me off to himself this season. And not to say I ain't going to be around any of my friends or anything like that, but he's putting me around different people to get what I need, because I will hold on to a friend. I don't like that saying that there are people that are seasonal, seasons, reasons, lifetime, because I'm a person to where if I let you in my life, first of all, it was hard. It's not easy to come and get close to me anyway. That's the first thing. Secondly, I let you in my life and you come through those walls, because I'm the person that if you try to get close to me or we try to make a friendship, naturally I would push you away into some instance, because I'm testing the love, and it's not healthy. But I'm like, I don't know. And you get through that little rendezvous with me, and we close, and I trust you now. Oh, where are you going? Where are you going? This is, you here now. I've opened myself up to you. And I know some people resonate with that I am an internal person. I internalize. So if I open myself up to you and let you in, and then now it's over, it's like, hold on. Do you know how much it took for me to open up to you? And now God, or whether it's the friend or God breaking it apart, you like, are you serious? You know what I mean? I got to do this all over again with another friend, So that was something. And on top of, not to mention, there was like an emotional and mental shift going on in my life. I've gotten a lot closer to my family, who I was distant from, talking to my parents, talking to my dad, my mom, biological dad, biological mom. I'm just a lot of transition. And y'all, guess what else happened? It was another transition within my ministry. Now I'm being put and trained in a position to be a minister in training. And I'm saying this not to, boast or anything like that, because I'm not happy about it, to be honest with you. I am not happy about it. I'm honored, but not happy about it. So I'm like, wait, God. Now all of this is happening within the 3 months, all at once. And then when I'm elevating and, God is trying to take me to the next level or has taken me to the next level, here come all of these exes and people from the past out of nowhere. I swear for God, it's like exes can smell healing. They can smell when you healing. And here they go knocking at the door or text you. What's up, big head? Ain't nothing up. What you doing? I'm in the bed. Bye. Block. And I'm like, God. And I know it was a test. I know it was a test of, are you really ready to go to the next level? Or are you still holding on to the past? Are you still holding on to what was? Have you forgiven? Because I had an instance where a person that I thought I forgave showed up, or I seen them somewhere, and my heart was not right. My heart was not right. And that's why I say forgiveness is not just a one-step process. Every time you think about it, every time you see that person, every time that thing come to your mind and you feel yourself about to meditate on it, you have to forgive again. Forgive again. All right, I forgive them. Don't let yourself go in that rabbit hole. I forgave them. I'm going to move on. Yes, it still hurts, but I've forgiven them. And you have to say that out loud because you can't fight thoughts with thoughts. You fight thoughts with words. So you have to say, so I was just being tested. And every time I passed the test, God will reward me. I had like little tests within my transitions. God will reward me. He was seeing if I'm going to complain. Am I going to turn my back on him? Am I going to give up? Am I going to go back to the old? And he would test me to see, because he's not going to give you something that you're not ready for. Even if you feel like you're ready, you can feel whatever, but God sees your heart and he knows the future. So God knows. You can't play God. I tried it. You can't play him. He knows if you're ready or not. He's going to test you. So whether you pass the test or not, the test shows him what he already know, but it also shows you, hey, maybe I'm not ready for this. I thought I was, but maybe I'm not. And that's okay too. That makes you aware. So said all that to say that God gave me something just for you and a lesson within all of this. And the first thing is God doesn't operate in time. He operates in eternity. There's no time clock in heaven. There's no, it's 8 a.m. here, so is 8 a.m. in heaven. God is the God of the universe. God is the God over China, America. God ain't American. God ain't Chinese. God ain't African. God is a God of the universe. And every continent and different places have different time zones. God is not moved by our deadline. He's not moved by time. There's a scripture that says, what does it say? A day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like a day to God. So me, I'm single, happily single, finally, desiring marriage. But I remember a time in my singleness where I was impatient. I'm like, God, I'm getting older. I'm 30 now. When am I going to get married? Like, God, my biological clock is ticking. When are you sending this? Like, it's nothing like God can't do the impossible. As far as like, he created biology, you know what I mean? But time in this world and social media forces you, when you be scrolling and comparing yourself to these different relationships that be lying, they be lying. Them people ain't happy. The real happy couples are not the ones that be posting every day or every week, every trip, doing these different trends and whatever. Those people may be fighting off camera and doing that because social media pays you now with the views and the likes and the hearts. They may not even be together. They're selling you a fantasy, just like we be comparing what we want our love life to be from a movie. Like that stuff is not real. That is a movie. Reality, that those shows, even reality shows, those things are not real. Those are paid actors. Soon as they say cut and the scene is cut off, they don't even know them people. So God doesn't move on your deadline. God doesn't move on our clock. He doesn't. God moves based on your heart. I believe he moves based on when you're ready. He's not gonna, just because you about to be 35, he ain't finna send you no husband because you getting old. God don't work like that. He is not finna send you that man knowing you still ain't ready, knowing your heart still ain't right. Then you're going to end up in a divorce. Then you'll have this wasted time where you could have just stayed patient and just got ready and got your heart together before the man came. So when he finally come and you 36 and y'all happily married, instead of, God, please bring me somebody right now, he give you what you asked for. Now you in divorce court because you weren't ready, or you rushed and got with somebody that was not at your standard. So God does not move. God does not live in time. He lives in eternity. I was at my last place for 5 years, 6 years. It was my very first apartment. Got it. It was not a very good area. So they didn't do it. It didn't take much for me to get in, although I was a first time apartment renting. Got it at 23. Got in there and then got comfortable, stayed there for 5 years, and I started getting uncomfortable. Then I'm like, a lot of stuff was happening with the buildings. A lot of stuff was happening with the leasing office people. I was just getting real, real tired of my old place. And it was a point where I was ready to move. But God was saying, not yet. It's not time yet. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not time? And it really wasn't. And I didn't move until a year or two later. So God is not moved by our time. He's not moved by our deadlines. He's not moved by your feelings. He's not. Point number two, don't allow feelings to hinder the season changes. So I am a hypersensitive person. I am a person that sometimes I don't know how to let go. When I am a creature of habit. I don't like too much change. I like to come home and things be where I had it when I left. I like to come home to have my things the way I have it, where I put it. I don't like too much of change. I'm a repeat person. I do the same thing every day, over and over again. I watch the same shows. I watch the same movies. I don't like new. Like, even when if I'm scrolling on Stars or Netflix and I see a new movie and it look like it'd be good, I'm not going to watch it because I don't know what the movie is about. I don't know what's going to happen. Versus other movies I've seen, I know what's going to happen. I enjoy those movies. I could watch a movie 1,000 times because I know what's going to happen. It's a control thing, my issue. So, no lie, during my transitional seasons with friendships and stuff like that, I was trying to hold on to stuff that God was telling me to let go. God said, let this go, or let this shift happen. I didn't want the shift to happen because I'm afraid of the unknown. I'm afraid because I don't know what's going to happen. And a lot of people think that most of the time, people that can't let go is because they are dependent or they don't love themselves when they can't let go of a person. It's like, no, it's not always that. Those are some of the things. But the biggest thing is you're afraid of the unknown. You've did life with this person, or you did life in this type of environment to where, okay, I don't know who I am outside of this. Who am I going to be? Who's going to be my best friend now, or who's going to be around me? I don't know what my life looks like without this person. And it's scary. I don't know what life itself is going to look like when I moved here, like I almost had, I had I wouldn't call it an emotional breakdown, but when I think maybe the last week before I moved here, I was reflecting on memories I had at that place and different things that were happening and the attachments I had and the relationships I had in that place. And I started to get scared to move. Now, this is a new place. It's bigger. It's a bigger environment. It's a better area. It's more opportunity. This is a fresh new place. But I was so attached to the old place. I had emotional attachment. I had sentimental value at my old place to where I was emotional. You know how we was in school or high school, rather middle school, the last day of middle school or high school, and you left and you had some of your friends go to a different high school when you left middle school, and you were emotional because it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do without my best friend, and what high school is going to be like without them. Then you get to high school and you meet new people and you're a whole nother person. You're a more mature person, and now you got new people in your life. And then you transition again. Every transition requires you. The requirement to go up a level, you're going to have to let go of something. Every elevation, every next level, every transition, a transition from God, I would say, you are going to have to let go of something or someone. Everybody can't go, and everything can't go. And I was struggling. And there may be times where it may not be you have to completely let go of a friend. It may be a shift. It may be distance that starts out. There are seasons where I didn't see a close friend for 3 years, and then seasons change, and that was the season where me and that friend got close again because we were different people. So all of that is transition. Don't allow your feelings to keep you to try to hinder when God is trying to change. It's changing the season. When there's a season change in your life according to God, you have to not ignore your feelings. You acknowledge your feelings, but you can't go by your feelings. You have to move despite your feelings. And you have to go at the pace God pushes you at. When he tells you to let go of something, don't wait too long. Let it go, because he has something for you on the other side. And usually on the other side, once you get to that level, stuff starts to make sense. Like, oh, this is why so-and-so couldn't be in my life. Or this is why I had to move from that area or move from that church or get away from that job or break up with him or her. This is why. They wouldn't have been able to hang with me at this level. I wouldn't have been able to keep up with this at this level. So you have to move despite your feelings and despite the unknown that you don't know about. And the last thing is every season has a purpose. This is the biggest point, and this is the biggest one I want to stress. Every season has a purpose. Now, I want to talk naturally from a natural perspective. We got, what is it? Spring, summer, fall, winter, when it comes to the natural perspective. And the seasons is just because it's when the earth tilts and revolves around the sun, that's when we have different seasons. The earth is tilting. That's why we got spring, then we got summer. The earth is tilting turning around the sun while we get different weather changes. Now, we need every season. The earth, nature, biology-wise, plants, everything around us, the air, we need every season. We need spring. We can't go without spring. The earth can't go without summer. The earth can't go without fall, and the earth can't go without winter. The earth needs every season that is given. And people got some seasons they love and some seasons that they are not a fan of. I'm not a fan of winter. We are kind of in winter right now. I'm not a fan of it. I can't wait to spring because I hate being cold. But we need winter. Now, I want to break down these seasons, and it's going to make sense. Spring. Why do we need spring? Spring represents renewal. It represents regeneration, revigoration, new beginnings. During springtime, that's when the flowers and the plants, they begin to grow. The animals come out of hibernation, and that's when it's not too hot, it's not too cold. That's when you plant your seeds for stuff to start growing and trees and stuff like that. Then there comes summer. During the summer represents growth, adjustment, cultivation, flourishment. That's when the fruits and vegetables and stuff that you planted in the spring starts to fully develop and grow and bloom. That's when the sun is more active, which gives energy. We need the sun. Nature needs the sun for development. That's when we get, you notice during, at least in Florida, during summertime, that's when it seems like that's when it rained the most. We get those thunderstorms, and we get the rain like that because of the summer heat. And we need the thunderstorms keeps the balance of the sun. And that's when after the thunderstorm during the summer, that's when we see rainbows. And the rainbow, the true meaning of the rainbow is God's covenant. He's reminding us of his covenant with us, his promise. Read Genesis. So then after summer, we got fall. Fall, or AKA autumn, represents a death and a rebirth. It's when you let go of the old and bring in the new. That's why you notice the leaves on the trees start to die and turn orange and brownish, and they fall to the ground to make room for the new leaves and the new plants and the new things. The grass dies and makes room for new grass. So it's a death and a rebirth. It's a letting go and making room for new. Fall represents harvest time. Fall represents harvest time. Those seeds that you planted, and I'm speaking spiritually as well. Those seeds that you plant that you think you don't see a return on, your harvest time is near. I just heard it. Our harvest time is near. Whether it was time, talents, money, love, anything that you've sown from your heart, you may not get a return the same way it came, but harvest time is near. So don't get discouraged. Harvest time is near. And then next, we got winter. Now, I'm not a big fan of winter. Most people in Florida are not a big fan of winter, including me. It's cold. I don't like it. I'd rather be hot than cold. I just don't like it. I don't go nowhere during the winter time. I stay in the house with my heater on. Now but we need winter. The earth needs winter. Winter represents insulation, preservation. It's the resting season. It's a season where you rest and plan and rebuild. The insulation, when God is preserving the earth. That's when the plants naturally, the plants and the leaves and stuff, they go into survival mode. They go into survival mode where they lie dormant. And the ice and the cold and the snow, some areas deal with snow on the ground. The ice and the snow actually nourishes the grass and the plants during the winter time and prepares them and preserves them. And while they're lying dormant, for them to grow within the next season. You got animals that thrive in the winter. You got animals that go into hibernation in the winter. So we need spring, summer, fall, winter. The earth, if we didn't have, say we didn't have spring, but we had the other ones. If we didn't have spring, then the plants wouldn't be growing. And that'll mess up if we hadn't have any of the seasons, that would mess up the whole ecosystem. We wouldn't have a lot of air. The air would be polluted. The animals wouldn't be able to breed. We wouldn't have plants and vegetables and fruits growing out of the ground. And the earth is a domino effect. Everything works in a system, like precipitation with the clouds and the rain. It all works together, like the great circle of life. It all works together. And we need each level, we need each season, although we may not be happy in a particular season. You may not be happy in the storm that you're in, but you need everything that God allows to happen to you and you survive it. You needed it, whether it was for a lesson. We're not, God just don't send happy seasons or joyous seasons or seasons where you feel like you're getting the blessings from God. You have seasons where stuff is dried up. You have seasons where it's lonely. You have seasons where you are completely broke. You have seasons where you're sitting down. God wants you to sit down and just talk to him. Well, you ain't going nowhere. He put you on the spending freeze. Those seasons, those bad seasons are needed, just like the good seasons are needed. Bad seasons or seasons to where you feel like everything is at a standstill or those thunderstorms. Don't pray, God, please, please let this storm pass right now. Please, God, take the pain away. Please, God, I'm hurting. I can't. This season is taking me out. Please take it away now. I need the storm to be over. You shouldn't pray those prayers. Because if that season ends before its time, it can mess up or hinder the lesson you're supposed to get, or hinder the purity God was trying to squeeze out of you. Instead of praying, God, take the pain away. God, I'm ready it's storming. God, let the storm pass away right now. Instead of praying those prayers, pray that God allows that storm to last as long as it should last. Don't pray that he takes it away instantly. There's a reason why he's allowing that storm. You're learning something. Something is being chiseled and tamed in you. God is squeezing you. He's shaping you. He's preserving you. He's keeping you from something. He's having you sit still because sometimes God just wants us to talk to him. We be busy doing stuff, even if we doing stuff for Jesus. We be busy doing stuff for him, but don't make time for him. You out here running errands for Jesus. busy, but are you productive? And what does running errands for him look like when you don't talk to him? He wants to sit you down sometimes, which is, I believe, is my season, which is why my car is out. And why God is telling me that it's not time to get a car yet. Because I was going outside, going different places, serving. And he's like, okay, it's time for you to sit down. I need you to talk to me more. There's something I'm trying to get to you. And sometimes God has to get to us through a storm, because sometimes we don't talk to him when things are good. When things are good, and I know I've done it. When things are good, our prayers, it seems like, well, let me talk about me. My prayers became more passionate. I didn't seek him as much until something came over and I was desperate and I really needed him. And God just doesn't want to be an emergency plan when you're in pain. He wants you to tell him how good he is when things are good, not just when things are bad. He wants to know that you need him and you want him and you desire a relationship with him when things are good. He wants to hear from you just as much as he heard from you when things were shot to hell. He wants to hear from you. And what is a relationship where you only are with the person because they're giving you stuff, or because that person is allowing good things to happen and the relationship is all good and you stand with that person. And then when you get everything you want, you stop talking to the person knowing they don't give you that. And then when things get bad, here you come running back to the person. Hey, I need. All right, cool. God don't have no problem with giving us what we need, even with some of our wants and our desires, as long as they match his, of course. But this is not a relationship with God. It's not take. You have to give him your time. You have to give him your sacrifice. You have to give him seed. You have to give him obedience. He wants to hear from you during the good and the bad. So sit in that season. Some of you, you might be in a bad season right now. You may feel like you're at your wit's end and you can't take no more and it's too much of a burden. And you feel like your head is spinning or there's no way out or there's no hope. And I encourage you, stay in that season. Hear God. Get the lesson you're supposed to get. And pray that the season lasts as long as it needs to. Don't pray it away. Don't beg God to take it away. Because, see, it is true. He will not give you more than you can bear. It is true. And even if I want to encourage the people that are in a content season or in a good season where it seems like you're flourishing. Don't forget about God when you get the things and the blessings that he's giving you. Give him the same time. Hear him. Obey him. Don't forget about him. Prepare. And every season that we go through, every season is needed. All right. I love y'all. I love y'all so much. I will see y'all on episode 2. Now, I ain't finna be keeping up with these numbers like I usually do. So I'm just going to say the next episode. Like, follow, subscribe, YouTube, Instagram. Follow, like the Healing Exchange on Apple and Spotify. And send it to your friends. Let this encourage them. I hope you guys have a good week. Peace. I love you.